And yo, the Sports Bag Bros podcast is on. It is a Monday, and of course, I got to situate this camera, but it is a Monday coming off of a weekend of, well, what do you think? Sports, this is what this is all about. Not too much NFL going on. We're talking about we're not going to talk about it, but we're going to mention at least the Hall of Fame game, or at least the Hall of Famers who got into the Hall of Fame. 4 new inductees into the Hall of Fame, at least the ones that they had bust for. And we might just point out a few of them. You know, you had Sterling Sharpe. I don't know what took so long with this guy. I mean, he didn't do anything else since he's been retired. So why did it take this long?
Yeah, it didn't make sense, but congratulations to Sterling Sharpe. He had a Hall of Fame career, and Absolutely. I thought he had a Hall of Fame speech, man. He knocked it out of the park. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't even see it, man.
He's the only one I watched. I didn't get a chance to watch anybody else's, but I was interested to see his, and he knocked it. He knocked it out of
the hood. Him and Shannon Sharpe, though, coming from the same grandma, you think that they'll have the same grandma story.
The only thing I didn't like is, the way they used to do it, the presenter would go up there and speak on their behalf and present them.
Yeah.
Now, I guess they just do like videos, but as Shannon speaks, I like to present my big brother, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They show clips and different highlights and whatnot. Because I think Shannon would have had a Hall of Fame speech as well, but he didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, and Shannon, Shannon's going through what he's going through right now. But like he said last week, he wanted this to be about his brother. So leave all that nonsense alone. So at least for this one day only, let's talk about his brother and the other guys who had gotten in. Eric Allen was one of those players who had gotten in as well. I watched him play when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. Very good player, Hall of Famer. I don't know. I guess I might not have seen enough of him, but I thought I did. Being in the Northeast, even when you don't watch Jets and Giants games, you do see Philadelphia Eagles games. And you see other teams, but in any event, he got in. And, he was a damn good player. He played with some good teams, but there's a difference between just being a damn good player and a Hall of Famer. Rodney Harrison was a player who needed to go into the Hall of Fame. And you look at him, you look at Eric Allen, well, you'll take Rodney Harrison, I think, almost every time. But in any event,
agree with that.
He gets into the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. Those guys all get in, all 4 players who got in. Jared Allen got in there, and I know they were showing his Kansas City Chiefs stats in film. Like, no, this dude was dominating when he was with Minnesota, but either way, he got in there too. So,
like I said, Sterling's is the only speech I saw. I saw part of Antonio Gates' speech, but the segment I saw, it was like a love fest with Phillip Rivers, and I was like,
You know what? That was the guy that got him there, though. That was the guy.
But I was like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't watch it. I mean, I had different things going on this weekend, but I'll probably get around to it.
Oh, Carlos, shout out in here. Yeah, Carlos hasn't been around for a while, but we do know Carlos has been super ill as busy. If you're locked on with him on Facebook, you know what he does for a living and the way he gets out there on the grind. So I see why he hadn't been in here. He's been busy as hell. The dude cooks, and he cooks for every damn body in boxing gyms everywhere. But going back to Antonio Gates, the story of Antonio Gates being a basketball player, not playing football, coming out of Kent State, going to the NFL. And, I remember there were a couple of other teams that tried to just think they can just take any tight end, any power forward and make him a tight end. I think that guy, Jai Nelson, years ago from George Mason, I believe, the Giants brought him in and thought they could kind of do the same thing, and it didn't work out. But you used to have some other players that had come out of college ball as tight ends. They played basketball, but they fit the bill as a tight end, and they got in. What was it? I think it was I can't remember. I think Jeremy Stevens, not even, it wasn't him, but either way, you've had players who have come out who played power forward, particularly power forward in college, and they get into the NFL and at least tried to do something. But Antonio Gates, light years ahead of everybody else. He had Phillip Rivers getting him the ball, and before that, Drew Brees. But, Phillip Rivers was the one that put him over the top. And one of those players who puts up a whole damn lots of stats doesn't go into the Hall of Fame. He'll go into the Hall of Fame, I think, eventually down the line, Phillip Rivers, but with no championship, just a bunch of stats, kind of like Dan Fouts. But Dan Fouts was damn great as well. But anyways, this show in particular, we were going to talk about great offenses, an all-time NFL offense. We've talked about the defense. We even talked about running backs a couple of weeks ago, and we hadn't gotten on the receivers yet, but talking about an all offensive team, it may seem easy on paper, but then I think because of the embarrassment of riches that we see on offense, it's going to be kind of difficult just to throw somebody in there because I'm thinking that, there's the obvious guys you throw in. The wide receiver wise, you almost guarantee that Jay Rice is going to be on it. I mean, if you have a list without him, you don't have a list. But then
I think we're probably going to struggle the most at two positions, quarterback and running back.
And that's the truth. And that's the damn truth, man. And that's true. As much as I love Barry Sanders and as much as anybody else loves Barry Sanders, you still have other players. Sweetness is there. And it kind of bothers my mind when now we look at the social media age and you hear people talk about players. He rarely comes up. He comes up because there's some Chicago Bear fan or some old school NFL fan that says, bro, look at Sweetness. You never had to take him out. He could block, he could catch. And then everybody else is still talking about Barry, or they even want to talk about how overrated Emmitt Smith was. And then you talk about LaDainian Thompson. He caught out of the backfield. Then you talk about Marshall Faulk. He caught out of the backfield, did this and that. He caught like a receiver as a slot. And, it just never ends, and it doesn't give a lot of credit to, I think, Walter Payton in particular. Was he spectacular? He didn't have to be. He was a football player, and he was a running back and a football player. He did what he did.
No, don't say that.
Was he spectacular? I mean, was he like breaking the big runs and breakaway speed?
He had plenty of big runs.
He had big runs, but he got caught from behind quite a bit. And
Barry got caught from behind quite a bit.
I don't know. When you saw Barry go, Barry just went. And the story about
Barry wasn't the fastest. He might have been the quickest.
He ran a 4.38. I mean,
Barry used to get knocked out of bounds at the 4.3 yard line
because of the angle, of course.
Well,
Bo Jackson got caught from behind against the Bengals.
That's getting caught.
But I'm thinking he's not flashy. When you think about Walter Payton, you just think about a hardcore football player. You don't have to take him out. If they're going to go for it on fourth and whatever it is, he's still in there. Barry
said, why do you think he got the name Sweetness? You're selling him short, bro.
I think that dude more respect than anybody.
But you're saying you're painting him out to be like a lunch pail guy who comes with a hard head and just does work.
No,
man, he busted long runs. He juked guys. Come on.
Not a juking part. You probably saw that more than I did because I've always saw him as that guy that took on.
He ran probably like 60 yards against the Cowboys just to pick up 4 yards, left to right, back to right. I mean, back to left. Man, he was shaking all kind of dudes. Walter Payton had wiggle, man.
Well, you know what? I guess I didn't see as much wiggle. I seen him. I thought he was a slasher. I just thought he was a slasher when he ran. And so he made that one cut.
He didn't shy away from contact.
Oh, no, that's exactly why I looked at him as that hardcore
He broke
player.
ankles too, man.
Yeah, that dude went after defensive lineman. He went after the linebackers. Anyone who came to him, he didn't go out of bounds. He was the guy on all those old school NFL videos that said, I'm an offensive player. What the hell am I doing? Like running out of bounds. You go after guys on offense. Defense is to defend. You go after the defense. I heard that years ago from Walter. That's all. Like, you know what? That's true. Why running backs always fearing the defensive line? It should be the defense fearing the offensive player, all the time. They should strike no fear into all people instead of the other way around. You look at defense and think about how hard every defensive player can hit when the offense is the one who's striking.
And before we get like deep into it, right now we're on running backs, even though we're not going to pick a running back right now. I got to mention Jim Brown because for me, just like in basketball, I say Jordan, Wilt, Kareem, rank them how you want. I'm not going to argue. Running backs, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. Rank them how you want, but that's the top three. I'm not going to argue.
I think
Unless you make me pick 1, 2, and 3, then I will.
Yeah.
But so I gotta mention Jim Brown. You mentioned Barry and Walter. I gotta mention Jim Brown.
Yeah. You can put those guys in one of those NBA lottery ball systems and pop them up, and whoever pops up is still going to help your team regardless. Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with either one of those guys, and it almost kind of gives it away. But if you want to talk about a fullback and a running back, then it takes away one of those running backs, so you have to put the fullback there. Or you could be creative.
I'm thinking we're going 3 wide, man. No fullback.
Oh, no fullback. You know what? If you're going 3 wide, you know what? You don't need that fullback, and you can have that flex tight end. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there's only a handful of fullbacks even eligible, right?
I was just thinking about that today. Look, I was like, who do you want? Who would you take all-star or one of the most underrated? Because some people claim that he was overrated. Would you take all-star or one, I believe, one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated fullback of all time, Lorenzo Neal? Lorenzo Neal was just an absolute freaking beast on that football field. And he led for multiple people, 1,000-yard seasons, multiple players behind him. And you saw his work when he was out there. It isn't something you have to, I wonder if he's going to hit somebody and this dude might get sprung for a run. Even if the dude sprung for 5 yards, you saw where that initial hit and where it should have been maybe a 2-yard or even a loss of yard. Lorenzo Neal was an absolute brute. And I was just thinking about it today. I was like, man, it just pops out of nowhere. Mike All-Star to Lorenzo. And
we can't forget Tom Rathman.
Oh, you know what?
He's playing with Jerry Rice, John Taylor.
That's what I was going to say.
Roger Craig. On a different team, he probably puts up a whole lot better numbers.
Bro,
but I don't know if anybody had a bag like Tom Rathman. He could run it, he could catch it, he could block it. That dude did it all.
I just played with him last week. I played Tecmo Bowl last week. I didn't know people bounced off of him. He broke like a 70-yarder, man. Dude was bouncing off of him. I thought after a while, a few bounce off you, and after a while, the computer lets the last guy get you. Everybody bounced off. He broke a 70-yard touchdown. It's all you forget how good Tom Rathman was. I had him on my football cards, but being in that West Coast offense, knowing that he caught out of the backfield, the same backfield in which Roger Craig ran for 1,000 yards and caught for 1,000 yards. Right. And it was when the NFL was still relatively a running league, but the 49ers changed everything with the West Coast offense, and everybody, as a copycat league goes, did the same thing. And, of course, we could only imagine going to come in here eventually drop a name saying Larry Zonka out of the woodwork. And
Zonka was a monster, man.
Let me see. Larry Zonka was a monster playing for that Miami Dolphins team. You see him dragging everybody, and Mercury Morris played for that team. He was on an undefeated team from 1972, which was known for its no-name defense. And, well, you can't name people on the defense unless you're a Miami Dolphin fan. Nick Buoniconti was on that team, and you only know him from inside the NFL. It wasn't because you watched the games and saw him and said, hey, Nick Buoniconti's that badass. And then we see another one that he points out, John Riggins, and I mentioned him when we were talking about our running backs before. A former Jet goes somewhere else because of Hall of Fame, blah, typical Jets work. And then he has another one, Franco Harris. And I'm glad he's naming these types of players because guess what? As good as they are, or even great as they might have been, they're not on our list. Not for this type of damn discussion. And, and I hate the crap on Franco Harris because I don't intend on doing it. But when he went to the Saints, I know it was at the end of his career. He was a shell of himself. You start wondering, was it really that Pittsburgh Steelers trap offense that helped him as much? Because Rocky Bleier being his fullback, he got yards when he got his opportunity with a half a foot pretty much, like the Tom Dempsey in the backfield. and I know someone was talking, I was just looking at something the other day about Terry Bradshaw being overrated. And I'm not going to say anything against that. Look, everybody on that freaking defense practically went to the Hall of Fame. A lot of guys on that offense went to the Hall of Fame, including your center. And then the way he talks about other quarterbacks as if he's that much better than them, you just happen to be the quarterback of a winning team. I think there were several quarterbacks that probably could have played for that same team and gotten that same result or even better. But anyway, including Joe Namath.
That's possible, but when you take into account he called his own plays, he came up big in the Super Bowls. It's not like he had crappy games and they won in spite of him.
But mediocre games. He had mediocre games. And then the defense held things down anyway. So whatever they did offensively was kind of like
okay, but they put up 30-some points on the Cowboys.
The Cowboys put up some points on them defensively too. So they had to fight back and forth.
But we're talking Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw's not playing defense.
Yeah, exactly. But Terry Bradshaw is not playing defense. But I just didn't see. And I know you do need the receivers. So I'm not going to say, well, he had Stallworth or he had Swan. Well, who the hell else was he going to throw to? But I don't know, just from the eyeball test, does Joe Namath, another player they said was completely overrated? And if you looked at it on the surface, probably so. I think he gets much more credit because of what he meant to the NFL during that transition from AFL to NFL merger. And when the Colts should never have lost the game, the Jets shouldn't have been in the game. And his guarantee, I know he's still living with that to this day. And he put up a 4,000-yard season, though, with 14 games. So I think that's another thing that people need
I think he's more of a star, like Hollywood type star than he
And
is
well,
football
bro,
legend.
got a star on the sidelines with his freaking fur coat eating hot dogs. That's what
Right.
he's doing.
But he's not going to make the team neither.
Oh, nah. He's my dude the whole nine until he goes. But this is something
But
that
getting back to Bradshaw, he could have had games where he threw a Jalen Hurts game where he fumbles the rock and they take it, or
exactly.
he throws a pick six to blow the game. That never happened. So you can say he's limited. I wouldn't rank him in my top 5. I don't know if I'd rank him top 10.
But because of the ring,
I'm not going to disparage him. He's a 4-time Super Bowl.
He's a 4-time. Winner, he was on 4 Super Bowl teams. He was the quarterback on 4 Super Bowl teams that's known for his defense to this day. You mentioned Terry Bradshaw.
And not only did he not do that in the Super Bowl, but he had to help get them to the Super Bowl. And they're playing
Harris work.
Man, competition back then was
fierce. It was fierce.
You got the Raiders, you got the Dolphins,
the Cowboys. Just on the AFC.
I'm talking about to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, to get to the Super Bowl, you had the Raiders all the time.
The Dolphins and Raiders won Super Bowls.
I'm just thinking
it's not like they're just going through, bum teams.
No, they weren't going through bum teams. There were fewer teams back then, so that means there was more of a concentration of talent on all the teams, including the bad teams. I'm just thinking that as a team overall, him being the quarterback of that team, the quarterback is always going to get the grace. But even with him getting the grace as the quarterback, that team was still known for its defense because it was that dominant. And then you talked more about Franco Harris because at one point he was the one that was expected to break Walter Payton's rushing record until, he just didn't do it.
He ran out of bounds too often.
As big as he was, running out of bounds. And I heard that, I heard him being soft. I don't know about running backs being soft. I can understand that they're kind of making business decisions, but back then they didn't make business decisions. Just like Sean Alexander, all of the yards he put up, and people talking about soft, bro. The dude had touchdowns that he got between the tackles, and they're talking about how soft he is. There was nothing soft about him. You just either liked him or you didn't like him. But anyways, let's get to the topic at hand. Offense, top players, positions, and you want to start off on the offensive line, which is probably, I don't know, the hardest because you're just talking names, but you want to go with the offensive line.
I don't know. I mean, who's the all-time best guard? I'll go Anthony Munoz. He's got to be on the team.
He was a tackle.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Who's the all-time best guard?
Because that was my guy.
Anthony Munoz at tackle.
I'll go make it easy. I'll go say my guy was Anthony Munoz. But I think anything without Anthony Munoz. John Hannah, I hear about him. I didn't watch him like that. Something like I act like I'm a John Hannah historian.
Plus back then the Patriots weren't very good.
Exactly.
They went on TV a lot. I can't say I watched John Hannah play.
But I did know one of the players, Jim Chayunsky, who used to be the athletic director here in Jacksonville at one of the local high schools. And he talked some things about that Patriots team, and he had a lot of injuries. Man, he was still feeling it years later. But John Hannah, I hear how people talk about him. They're probably the strongest man in the NFL at that point, at least, because we already know, what was it? Eric Allen was like the strongest dude of all time to go into the NFL, just destroying everything. But, man, as another offensive tackle, I know you have Jonathan Ogden, man, but in terms of talent and what he had done, but it was a short period of time, not because I'm not a Jaguar fan, but Tony Baselli. To watch him do what he did to Bruce Smith in the playoffs. I mean, just treated him like a stepson, Bruce Smith. And it wasn't like Bruce Smith is about to retire, so he's jacking him up. No, he was a young dude jacking up Bruce Smith, headed to a Super Bowl.
I'm trying to think. Is Baselli the second best tackle of all time, though?
See, no one's going to really pick that outside of being a Jaguar fan and knowing a lot about the Jaguars or being I'm not going to say sensible because you wouldn't be sensible if you didn't pick him, but to think about the short period of time and how he came on the scene, the number one pick for the Jaguars overall, coming out of USC, big dude, but dominant almost from the beginning. And then to accentuate that dominance when he played Bruce Smith in a playoff game, that matters. And the Buffalo Bills, how they go to the playoffs, back then. And he dominated him because that was my first time seeing anyone dominate Bruce Smith as much as I wanted someone to dominate him after he was talking nonsense about Lawrence Taylor. Why are they still talking about him? I'm the guy who sacks all the quarterbacks. And I was like, I don't like him anymore. and then Baselli got him. But you know what? I'm sure because his career was so short, but he still got in the Hall of Fame with that career. Kind of like the offensive lineman version of Gale Sayers. Short, small sample size, but so damn dynamic when he played. And to be dynamic as an offensive lineman, that has to account for something.
So would you take him or Ogden?
Damn. I have to take Baselli. Ogden was freaking awesome, man. Awesome. And he looked like a kid from the very
just
beginning.
Thinking of like all-time great offensive lines, like the 90s Cowboys, the 80s
whole offensive line.
The 80s Redskins.
See, Eric Allen.
There's some badasses on those lines, man.
That's my guard.
And Eric Allen consistently got to championship level games, Super Bowls, NFC championships, playoffs
with that offensive line, man.
So I'm thinking somebody.
I keep saying
couple
Eric
guys
Allen,
off couple
Larry
guys
freaking
off
Allen.
Those lines need to be on our list. Is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's Russ Grimm.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
no, Larry. I'm saying Eric Allen. It's Larry Allen. Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Jim Jacoby from the Washington Redskins. Yeah,
I agree with
Larry Allen.
Allen.
I think guard wise, there's not a better guard. Larry Allen easily the strongest man in the NFL. And you watched him on the field, and then of course you get people just throwing names out there. Andrew Whitworth isn't a bad player, but we're talking about the best of all time, and he's not there. It's like we were talking about with Chris Carter was talking about being in the Hall of Fame, and he was comparing himself to Ocho Cinco. Yo, bro, I'm in a penthouse, you in the basement. You know, you're still in the same building, but I'm up here, you're down here. There's levels to this thing, even as Hall of Famers. So
but what's above the penthouse? Because I don't think Chris Carter's at the top.
No, well, that's Chris Carter kind of giving his own explanation of where he's at.
I know, I'm just saying, but what's above the penthouse? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. You're on top of the penthouse with your telescope looking at the other stars, I guess.
The helicopter pad?
You know what I'm saying? Large, you shoot for the stars, you might fall on the moon, kind of analogy. But yeah, Eric Allen would be my guard. And I'll tell you what, I got another guard, but who you have?
I'm not sure. I told you.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not sure about the lineman. I got Larry Allen, Munoz. I'm not sure about the other tackle position, but I'm telling you, one of them hogs got to be on the list.
You know what? Joe Jacoby.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I mean, he was like one of the most popular ones there, but because he was good, he wasn't just popular because they like watching the Redskins and they were a dominant franchise at that time. But yeah, he was legit. And I know some people think about these older players because they hadn't heard of them or they heard of them and then had heard about what have you done lately with these new age players. And it's a different NFL. You have to go through all that. Guys are a lot bigger now because you have to go through that, and whether it's natural and unnatural. And I'm thinking about the other guard, Alan Faneca, out of Iowa, played for the Steelers, came to the Jaguars. And before he came to the Jaguars, like I was mentioning, I think last week, of how I went to the locker room after that game with the Steelers played. There was one of the most field goal games I've ever seen in the NFL. And we was in the press box for that. You heard the hits. And Alan Faneca was pushing Marcus Stroud around like he was a kid in a stroller. You know what I mean? Aisle 5 in freaking Walmart. And I just mentioned it, not even like that, just mentioned how he had trouble with him. Dude screamed on me in the locker room. I'm like, bet. That's whack. But okay.
But on the all-time list?
Alan Faneca as a guard?
As a starter?
I can't think of any other guard that might have been in front of him. I was going to say Chris Naoli, but that's not the guy. The only reason why, because he was powerful. Like a lot of those Polynesian players are powerful as hell. Chris Naoli.
Jimbo Covert was a badass.
Oh, you know what? Damn, you brought it. See, now you just kind of draw my memory, make me want to change other positions now. Like, wait a minute, I might want to take this dude out real quick. Yeah, that's the truth, man. That's the truth. Damn. Jumbo Elliott.
And highly intelligent. That's another guy, yeah.
Jumbo Elliott was a damn good player. Don't get any props. They talked about how slow he ran the 40 coming out of Michigan, playing for the Giants, got 2 Super Bowls there, came to the Jets with Parcells. You know, he threw that freaking, he was the one who caught the touchdown in that Midnight Miracle against Miami from Wayne Corbett. But damn, man. What was it, Wayne Corbett? No, what's they do it? I think it was what's his damn name? I must have CTE or some shit. Anyway, he caught it from what's his name? The freaking running back, Curtis Martin. Anyway, halfback option, it end zone, offensive tackle catches it. But yeah, but
So
damn, that's true.
I'm saying Munoz, Covert, Allen. We haven't talked center yet, and then the
Wow.
other tackle position is still up for grabs.
Yeah, and the only reason why, if I still have.
You give me Covert, I'll give you Baselli. How about that?
You know what? Bet, because damn, it's such a small window of time. Baselli played, but he was so dominant in that small window, and it was injuries that just put him out of the NFL, not old age. And I know he's not the only player that happened to. Gale Sayers, like I said, he's the offensive line version of what Gale Sayers was as a running back. A small sample size, but damn, man, you take that sample over any damn body else who had a whole career. And so, yeah, definitely, man. But a center is, I don't think it's tough because there's a lot of plays you could put there. It's not tough because you can't think of plays right now, because off the top, I talked about Mike Webster already being one of those Hall of Fame centers playing with that Steelers squad. But then,
what about a guy who hasn't had a chance to go to the Hall of Fame yet? Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey?
Yeah.
He played center?
Didn't he?
I thought he was a guard.
I thought he was a center.
Oh, center. Oh, crap. What I'm missing? I must be missing something. He probably was a center. He didn't go to the Hall of Fame yet, but he probably going to get there.
Just retired.
Yeah, he just retired. He retired 2 seasons ago, so he has 3 more years. It takes 5 years. I'm thinking that there's some other ones out there, and not because they're nostalgic, but because they're actually good. And the Steelers just happen to be one of those teams that got like Hall of Fame after Hall of Fame, because DeMonte Dawson is another one of those centers that came into Pittsburgh. And then Pouncey came into Pittsburgh. You're talking about center after center, man. These guys just have a pipeline to great centers. And then Kevin Mawai played for the Jets, but before that, Seattle, excellent center, but I don't think he'll be on that list. I think that Steeler pipeline alone may lead the way with centers.
Probably.
DeMonte Dawson, Mike Webster, Pouncey. Damn, that's just the Steelers. I wish we could have had the damn pipeline like that with just lineman after lineman.
So who are we going with?
Let me see. Oh, shoot. See, I want to just instinctively go with Mike Webster but then, you have to think about the size and the time. But he as you talk about athleticism, and for that time, the athleticism trapping, centers, bro, you have to be one of the most athletic dudes on the freaking team, period, to trap as much as those centers trapped back then.
I'm not against Webster. I just wanted to throw Kelsey out there. I wasn't sure if you'd be giving him any consideration.
Man, DeMonte Dawson, man, living in the moment and knowing that we watched him and how much he was talked about. And then when they isolated him, you saw him doing what he was doing. Man, it's hard to pick against him. But at the same time, it still comes back to Mike Webster. It's hard to pick against him. He had the power. He had the strength. I don't care about the accusations of whether he used steroids, whether he didn't use steroids.
The thing is, he wasn't the only one.
So. Exactly. Especially in that era. Come on now. Everybody's freaking using it. Now they're talking about Mickey Mantle using something back in the day, like probably smoking some horse balls or something like that. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he was better than anybody else. But I'll rock with Mike Webster, man. I got to rock with Mike Webster.
So we got Munoz, Covert, Webster, Allen, and Baselli.
Yeah, right there. So that's that line. And now, who the hell would they be protecting as the quarterback? Because we can go with this quarterback.
We should save quarterback for last.
All right, because I thought receivers, because they were just such a plethora of receivers. You're like, damn, man.
To me, receivers is pretty much cut and dry, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay, so let's go with the running back, because those guys got to block for some damn body, of course.
Well, I think you made the case, for, Walter Payton, because you never have to take him out.
You don't have to take him off the field.
Fourth down, if you need him to stay in and block, he's going to do it better than Barry.
And the reason why
I can see Barry's a better runner, but overall running back.
Barry, unquestionably the best pure runner in NFL history. Pure runner. If you're just looking at getting trapped and getting out of those traps and breaking your knees, he's done it to Rod Woodson, put him out for the season with that knee injury. So how many times he did the John Lynch, had him like on skates on AstroTurf? Come on. So you going with 2 running backs? Or a fullback and a running back, or you just want to have you can have a freaking pro set and just have if you have pro set, you only had 2 receivers then.
I don't want 2 running backs because then one of them's not going to be happy.
Yeah. So we could rock with Payton, and the reason why you rock with Payton because, like you said, you don't have to take him out, and because of the way the game was back then, Jim Brown didn't get passes thrown to him, so that's just the way it goes.
Right.
So he blocked,
and if they're playing against our starting 11 defense, they might need Walter, they might need a trick play here or there, and Walter can throw it.
And he could do it. He could throw that ball. Look at Jackson State. He did every damn thing. He was the kicker, the punter. He did everything. He ran the ball, quarterback. He did every damn thing at Jackson State. So Walter Payton is the everything running back.
If they can steal the edge and have him running at Dion and our starting 11, that's going to wear Dion out. He's going to make some business.
Dion be too busy trying to do the Olay. He's trying to catch him and let him pass, and then trying to tackle him. And he'll get dragged for a little while until the other guys can catch up with him. But yeah, man. So yeah, it has to be Walter because of those reasons. The reason you could keep him in there for 4 downs, not that you couldn't do it with Jim Brown, but we have proof that Walter could be in there for 4 downs. Catching out of the backfield, blocking, effectively blocking, not just cutting dudes down. He was hitting dudes in the chest. Right. It made you think about it next time. And Jim Brown, I don't remember seeing too many videos of him even catching out of the backfield.
Well, it's not going to be a highlight for him to throw a block. So, if you watch a Jim Brown highlight video, you're not going to see a lot of blocking.
But there will be a highlight for a sweetness if he throws a block because you're like, damn, the dude's 5'10", 202 pounds, and he's stonewalling dudes. He's not just keeping you out of the way, out of the quarterback. He'll hit you kind of like the Maurice Jones-Drew and the Sean Merriman hit. Just stone him out there. And
the footage is also what, 15, 20 years more recent also.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway,
Walter at running back.
So now we have receivers. So we're going to use 3 wide receivers, or do you want to throw a tight end in there?
Man, we need a tight end to help block.
Yeah.
If we're talking about blocking,
we're talking about our defense.
Blocking Reggie White and
freaking JJ Watt, and then still have LT out there.
Yeah, we need a tight end. They need a tight end.
Yeah, they need a damn tight end, but it's easy to say Gronk. It's not like Gronk wasn't known for blocking because he was big and he could, but against those guys, you think that with the time that they're going to have,
he'll be an effective block.
That's what I'm saying. Could he be an effective block? Him one-on-one with Reggie White, bro. Come on. Him one-on-one with JJ Watt, bro. LT covering him in the flat. Damn, there's problems, man. That's a deep fish right there. But he's fast as hell when he has the ball in his hands. He has reliable hands. He's tough too. People look at him as a clown now because that's what he's selling himself marketing-wise. But he was a tough-ass player.
Yeah, off the field, he's clownish. But
yeah, exactly. Look at him as a clown, and they kind of just forget that he was this damn good and this tough. You think about just
on the field, he's nothing close to being.
No, on the flash plays, you hear his trash talking on the field too when those guys was playing. And by the way, next year they have Julian Edelman up for the Hall of Fame, bro. He's not getting into the Hall of Fame. You think so? I mean, he has rings, but come on, Julian Edelman. Not that he's a trash player, but this is Hall of Fame, man.
My vote, but I don't have a vote, so I don't know.
I don't think he should get anybody's vote.
If they made Sterling Sharpe wait 20-some years or however long it was, no. Edelman should not get into the Hall of Fame.
Edelman didn't even have a 1,000-yard season, did he? His entire career? I mean, God, bro, that has to count for something. Even though you have ring after ring after ring, and you make spectacular plays, it's just that, bro, that's just not enough. Guys have made spectacular plays before. They're not in the Hall of Fame, man. And they didn't go to the Super Bowl. Steve Largent's in the Hall of Fame, didn't even sniff the Super Bowl, but he did every damn thing else, including blasting Mike Harden on that freaking hit. After Mike Harden hit him at the beginning of the season.
He got his get back.
Man. He just laid him out. But yeah, wide receiver wise now, tight end wise, damn, Gronk seems like now the new benchmark for tight ends.
Do you think is he the greatest tight end of all time?
I can't even think of because
I don't know. I think I'd take Shannon before
Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah,
Tony Gonzalez. Bro, Tony Gonzalez was serious.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, he was, bro. I wish he would have gotten a ring before he left. But damn, that guy, Tony, man. When you hear about players, man, even as recently as he played, you don't hear about Tony Gonzalez. He's one of those guys. In the moment you watch, and you just knew he was the best tight end on the field, and sometimes the best player in the field. He could take over a game as a tight end, and he didn't have all those great quarterbacks all the time. and being in Kansas City, especially. But man, there's a lot of tight ends you put out there because he also blocked. He doesn't get credit for that. Now, Shannon Sharpe, did he do a lot of blocking? He was a finesse guy, even though he bent 40
Well, he had
pounds.
to block. He was on those Denver teams with Terrell Davis and them.
Yeah,
he had to block.
But the offensive line, that zone blocking scheme for the offensive line, though, and how many times
he's on the field too blocking.
He was on the field, but I don't remember him hitting too many key blocks. Or at least I'm pointing out that he hit out key blocks. I'm not going to act like I zeroed in on him. Most times I heard about him is when he caught the ball and made his play.
I think I lean towards TG.
Tony Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Bro, not because of those sympathy vote. The dude was that damn good. They're breaking his records now. That's how they're becoming names. The records that he had broken. So, yeah, I can rock with TG, even though
Antonio Gates too, man.
And that's another one.
He's a problem. I don't care who's on defense. That's a big dude, athletic that you got to deal with, man.
When I think about him, I also think about Ben Coates. Remember Ben Coates when he was
catching? That's my guy right there.
Whoa, Ben Coates was getting it, man. He was one of those the first tight ends that was getting like 100 reception seasons. You know,
him and Bledsoe won me many a fantasy game.
Oh man, yeah, he and Bledsoe that's it. There was like a pinball machine on the football field as far as tight ends go.
Coates would be a biased pick on my part, so that's why I didn't mention him.
All right, but yeah, as far as just mentioning
production, he's not Tony Gonzalez.
No. Tony Gonzalez is a legit Hall of Famer. He's that dude in the penthouse. If you're talking about tight ends alone,
but I appreciate you give him a shout out.
Huh?
I appreciate you giving him a shout out.
He's legit. This guy. If you don't mention Tony Gonzalez, man, you just either don't like him or you're not watching football.
I'm talking about Ben Coates.
Oh, Ben Coates. He was damn good. And that's the good thing about being able to watch these guys in the past instead of having to rush to YouTube to find out exactly what did he do. Because we watched these guys and you saw how dominant they were in the moment. And I don't think it's underrated. I think you just don't really realize in the moment and knowing how you felt when you watch these guys play, or if they played your team and you're like, damn, I don't want that dude playing. Or you look at the injury report like, I hope he's on there. You hope he's not going to play on Sunday, in that moment. And then they go out there and still ruin your life or help your bet or help your fantasy football team, whatever. But let me see. It's like this one, Olin Cruz.
That's a good pick. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but I think he's going.
With, was he Washington?
No, he was Bears.
Did he play for the Washington? Washington? No, I'm saying Washington Huskies College.
Oh, he may have.
Washington Huskies play for Colorado.
He may have. I'm pretty sure he's Hawaiian. But
yeah, might have been a Washington Husky. He's legit. I mean,
he was really good. He was the quarterback, so to speak, for the offensive line for those Bears teams. And he's highly intelligent. I just don't know if he's not all time. He's not all
time like those guys. He's probably going to be in the Ring of Honor. If you have a Ring of Honor in Chicago, he'll be on there.
Oh yeah.
So Tony Gonzalez, it seems like that's what it's going to come down to. And I know there might be someone talking about Shannon Sharpe or even Gronk because we're talking about the best of the best. So yeah, it's almost like the Barry Sanders situation with Sweetness and Jim Brown. Throw those three in the pot and just take them out. You do the same thing with this. We're just taking out Tony Gonzalez. That's it. And so yeah, he'll be the dude right now. So Tony Gonzalez is on that list. And I think matchup wise, he's one of those few guys. I think that if LT had him in a flat, that it could be a problem because he had the size, he had that speed that he doesn't get credit for, and he was strong. Tony Gonzalez
he was very, very athletic. Played basketball.
You know about that from his basketball days with Jason Kidd. But all right. So now we got to go. Well, the wide receivers. So who's going to spread this?
Go ahead.
What a three wide? You want me to name three of them or just one at a time?
Go ahead, name one. We know who it is.
I mean, Jerry Rice, obviously.
Right.
Rice got to be there.
Of course, Jerry Rice. He's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Randy Moss.
He has to be because talent-wise, he's at the top of the list. But accomplishment-wise, Rice is still there. I don't think we'll see another player as talented as him. I think I'll be watching from above maybe one day. But Megatron talent-wise was good, but he still wasn't Randy Moss, though.
But we need three. So.
I know. A third one, see, Megatron didn't play long enough. We saw the talent. So there's no question there. But you also had T.O., who got results. You know what I mean?
Is T.O. better than Sterling?
Sterling Sharpe?
Yeah.
Bro,
no.
As a talent? I don't know, man.
As a player, is he better?
As a player,
was he better than Sterling Sharpe?
I think so, man. Man, as much as I like Sterling Sharpe, T.O. T.O. where he went, he was a pain in the butt. If you separate that, just watch how he played.
I'm not discrediting him as a player. I'm just saying I don't think he's better than Sterling Sharpe.
You know what? You probably being in the Midwest.
I'd take Larry Fitzgerald before T.O.
You know what? Larry Fitzgerald over. You take Larry Fitzgerald over T.O.?
Yes.
Whoa. I mean, you
think T.O. is the third best receiver of all time?
Bro, I was up there with him, man. I'm thinking that's how I was thinking, man. He's easily one of that guy. I think he is. Damn, he could be that third guy. Along with Randy, who can stop?
He could be, but
because he caught the pass, he caught the ball. His speed is going to separate him. And then this guy,
but what?
This dude here, come out
saying he caught the ball. Larry Fitzgerald didn't catch the ball.
No.
I'm just saying you're trying to.
I saw him in the middle of saying that.
Hype up T.O. saying he caught the ball.
No,
that's what wide receivers do.
I was about to say, but this dude pops up in the comments.
Put the comment again. I didn't see it. Put it up again.
That's the dude, man. This dude here, man. He caught me right in the middle, and I was saying he caught the ball. They all catch the damn ball, even the running backs.
That's what I'm saying.
But I was about to say, T.O. catches the ball, and that dude's speed, man. I know Larry Fitzgerald was faster than his 40 time, but T.O. had that speed. As soon as you touch it, you knew he was going to beat you. He was going to beat you. When he played with that broken leg pretty much in the Super Bowl here in Jacksonville against the Patriots, you know, he was the reason why they even had a chance to win. If he was healthy, shoot, they might have won the damn game. And before, that season he was having before he even broke his leg, he was just that damn good. Man.
Maybe, but I mean, if we're talking top 3 wide receivers all time, and if I gotta choose, I'm gonna go with a guy who's not doing push-ups in his driveway.
So it's a personal feeling.
Sit-ups. Sit-ups. Not calling a press conference so he can do sit-ups in his driveway. Throw his quarterback under the bus. Shirt. We don't need all that drama, man.
But if you play for players,
did you see the defense we're going up against? We don't need no drama, man.
But we don't need no drama. But
give me Larry Fitzgerald or Sterling Sharpe, I think.
Larry Fitzgerald gonna be too quiet against those guys on defense, man. We need a little bit of trash talking. We know T.O.'s gonna bring that shit in spades.
He's gonna put in work, man.
He's gonna put in some work, man.
If he gets his hands on it, it's a 99.9% chance he's catching it.
Oh yeah, you know what? We can say the same for Anquan Bolden. He's not Larry Fitzgerald though.
That's true.
Anquan Bolden had those freaking claws, but he wasn't dropping a damn thing. But yeah, shoot. So according to you, it seems like hell. The more you bring up players, it's like T.O.'s dropping further the list. He's not a top 3 player. At this point, he's a top 5. He's not even top 5.
I take Marvin Harrison before T.O.
You know what? Damn, that's another one. Because you need that little shifty dude at the slot. And that would be Marvin Harrison.
In the slot.
You need that little shifty guy. So I'm thinking just name-wise and just big player-wise, forgot all about Marvin Harrison and the matchup problems he would have. Trying to cover that short, shifty guy, put him in motion, you can't do anything with him. Those guys that we named on that defense last week, what are you going to do with him when he's going in motion and you still got freaking Jerry Rice and Randy Moss to screw with? Damn. I didn't think we could come with anybody doing anything with that offense.
That's when they go nickel on us.
Go nickel. Then Champ Bailey comes in there, man.
Yep.
Champ Bailey, that nickel back. And Champ Bailey trying to pick up on Marvin Harrison.
Was it Woodson or Bailey? Either one can't go wrong.
I had Woodson as my corner, my starting corner. I think you took somebody else. And then we just had Champ Bailey as that nickel. So if he had that nickel, God, having a nickel like Champ Bailey going up against Marvin Harrison, shoosh. I don't remember, at least especially, and we're talking about these players if they were prime players.
Yeah.
No one stopped Marvin Harrison, even with a bad indie team.
If you're talking like we need a dude to do X, Y, Z specific, and I know he wasn't a slot guy, but the playmaker, He's going to go across the middle. With those linebackers, you need somebody who's going to go, not afraid to
Michael
go
Irvin?
across the middle, catch that ball, and hold on to it.
Michael Irvin?
Yeah.
And then
But he's not top 3 wide receiver.
Oh,
neither.
no, not.
I'm just saying,
on a list of 10,
for the purpose of if we need a guy to go across the middle.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Right.
The playmaker, Michael Irvin, but he's been doing that since he was at the U. And he did it. I know people were talking. I was reading another list yesterday. It was talking about how overrated Troy Aikman might have been, or how overrated they thought he was.
And if we need a guy to combat Ray Lewis on the offensive side, it's gonna be the playmaker. Like, yo, don't let them talk to you like that, man. Don't let them hit you like that. You put your shoulder.
They're gonna do it anyway, though.
We're gonna move this ball. We're gonna score. Hey, we need a playmaker on the team.
Ray Lewis is going to do it any damn way. You saw that video with him and Chad Ochocinco in the end zone when he just knocked him down, even act like he was there. And he had to go to the sidelines still rubbing himself like, yo, bro.
Chad tried to block him and fell down.
Damn, man.
But I'm just saying, you need a dude who's
mentally tough.
Yeah, who's mentally tough big. like the playmaker, because that defense ain't no joke.
And that's the truth, because those dudes will be trying to take your head off, especially Ray Lewis, you can say that for the whole damn defense. They're all trying to take your head off. Other people can try to take your head off. These dudes will take your head off. A lot of video to prove that they will take your head off, especially in that secondary.
And if you send Randy deep, that opens up the anyway for the playmaker. Yeah,
it opens up the field wide for the playmaker, because you're going to have. Well, with Dion though, you don't need safety help, even with Randy Moss. You just let them go mano a mano. He's probably going to make the catch, but you don't have to worry about all the time a big play being made, because I saw when Randy Moss went against Darrell Revis, even though he's a little shorter than Dion, and he stuck on him like glue, but those hands were the deciding factor, being 6'4". He got 60-something yards, but everything that was thrown him, he caught. He caught it with his hands. He just got stopped short.
Moss had incredible hands.
His hands, that's one thing I don't think he get enough credit for.
I don't know, man. We named like 6 dudes. Who's number 3?
We talking with freaking Michael Irvin in the mix, he should even be on the freaking list, but because this special circumstance, he needs to be in there. If you're talking about just going against this defense and the type of receiver that will deliver against this defense. So, Randy Moss.
So should we just do who we think's the third best wide receiver, regardless?
Yeah, exactly. We got to come with the third one. That's what it should be. Because would you have Megatron over Michael Irvin?
For explosiveness, but for
and he caught
longevity and consistency, I don't know.
No, the longevity part, no. We know that part.
Yeah, I don't know if he can beat the playmaker.
And proven in big games, playmaker proved it in big games. Hell, Alvin Harper proved it in big games. So I don't know. Marvin Harrison, though. That's still that Marvin Harrison.
I go Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I think so. Marvin Harrison would be that third guy because of the longevity and the complete effectiveness from beginning to end. Even at the end of his career, he was still making plays. It was just, I don't know, he was just that damn good. And I'm glad that he stayed with one team his entire career. A little bit off of the subject. I was just watching one of those old videos from years ago with the Monday night with Hank Williams Jr. This was 1991. And I saw Clarence Verdin playing for freaking the Colts. And I just forgot all about him, man. I was like, yo, bro, that dude was good. I actually played with his nephew with semi-pro ball. His nephew, we call him Miami. His name was Demetrius. But, yeah, man, and that dude was damn good, too. But Clarence Verdin showed up. And on the video, man, I was like, damn, old school players, man. I saw all those.
I think you could have kept that one to yourself, man. We're talking starting 11.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying as an aside.
He didn't need no. Nah, he didn't need no mention.
He was watching the game with us. How about that?
I don't care. He didn't need no mention. We're talking starting 11, man.
I'm thinking about
let me give a shout out to my guy Lester Hayes. He had more all pros than Mike Haynes, but for some reason Mike Haynes is in the Hall of Fame, but Lester Hayes isn't. So
I don't know. I still think
give a shout out. I give a shout out.
It goes back to Al Davis, his rivalry with the NFL since he was an AFL guy and just always being that pain in the butt to the NFL. So they took one from his, and then to stick him, even though everybody used stick him, they want to point to the guy on the bad team that used stick him, and they want to just use that as an excuse.
You stick him.
You know what? But he was one of the darlings, so they weren't going to talk about him. They'll talk about someone who they want to vilify. But either way, so that's going to be it with those 3 receivers. Is it going to be the third one? Will be Marvin Harrison.
Yep.
It's going to be Jerry Rice, Randy Moss,
Randy
Marvin
Moss.
Harrison. And for this specific, and we're doing this particularly going against that defense we picked last week. That's why, because that defense is so formidable, you just can't put anybody in there. I think that Marvin Harrison is an X factor also.
Other than Randy Moss, I mean, Rice, one of the best route runners of all time. Harrison, one of the best route runners of all time.
Easily, yeah.
But we're sending Moss deep on every play, so he just got to run and put his hand
up like he always does. Put his hand up as soon as he gets off the line of scrimmage, and just throw 50 yards deep, he'll get under it. And I don't really remember him being known as a great route runner because his route was just zero. That's it. He would do the zero route all the time. And he just get out there. I mean, he did other routes, but he's just known for those dynamic plays, even when he was covered by 3 damn dudes, and it was a mismatch. 3 guys, and it was a mismatch for him. And he could jump, he could catch, he had the hands he don't get enough respect for. But they look at his explosiveness and the way he just had that smooth stride, a 6'4". Damn. I was just watching another video with him and Jason Williams when they were in high school together in West Virginia, and then they made that commercial years ago with the good old boys. But anyway, Jason Williams was like, yo, bro, this dude could have played in the NBA. But on the other hand, when Randy Moss had an interview with Steven Jackson, he was like, man, I'm glad they trying to talk me out of trying to go into the NBA and just stick with football. I don't think I could have done it. I'm like, I don't know, man. Are you being self-deprecating or you really believe that crap? The competitor in you, may think you can do it, but as an older person, you start looking back and you kind of take the self-deprecation role. So, but anyways, so that's gonna be it for that team. So offensive line wise,
pick a quarterback here.
Oh, quarterback. Oh, damn. Right. The most important. So you got 10 versus 11 mismatch. All right, quarterback wise, man. Before Tom Brady went on his just huge winning streak of winning championship after championship, John Elway was always my guy. John Elway was always the best quarterback for me because he always didn't have that running back, but he still got to the Super Bowl and gotten beaten by teams that were just outright better. They scored first against the Washington Redskins, and Doug Williams just opened the doors, and Tim Smith ran through their asses like it was nothing, and he just couldn't get past it. He gets himself a running game, and they said, yeah, it was just Terrell Davis. It was. And then in the second game, though, it was John Elway just as much as Terrell Davis when he did that old jump in the air, got helicoptered, the whole 9. But that's still my dude, man, number 2.
I can appreciate him being your dude, but I know you're not advocating Elway ahead of 2 other guys.
Is he bad? Is Elway bad?
He's bad.
And I was saying,
is he the best?
I'll practically give him a shout out because, as I was saying, before Brady did his shenanigans, this was my dude. So I got to run with Brady.
See, my thing is, like, I can see Brady's the GOAT, man, but a lot of his drives, they ended at the 32. Vinatieri came in and kicked the field goal. They called the tuck rule. What's his name? Belichick has the other team's plays. Videotape. They know the calls. Deflate gate. Man, too much controversy, bro.
Too much help.
We need a touchdown with a minute 47. We're not stopping. We can't stop at the 32, the 27 for Justin Tucker, our kicker, to come in and win the game. We need a touchdown.
I know who you
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, because he did it. He did exactly that. And the dude looking at John Candy in the audience and still came down there and got the touchdown instead of lining up for a field goal to John Taylor. And I could have sworn they were going to lose that game. I was like, damn, the Cincinnati Bengals are actually going to win the Super Bowl here. They scored too damn soon. And that dude just came right down there when they needed it most. Damn, the field goal. This dude got the whole damn gusto. Got John Taylor the ball, win the damn Super Bowl. Simple as that. And he's done it multiple times, not just the Super Bowl, but other games when he just but he had the players to do it, but still, that's just the way it goes. But damn, man, that's true. And Tom Brady, yeah, it was Vinatieri getting that, but he also had to get that drive with seconds left, and it was still up to Vinatieri.
Like I said, we need a touchdown, man. We ain't stopping at the 35, hoping Tucker can make it from 52, or at the 40, hoping he can make it from 57.
57-yard field goals in the NFL, bro, with the Super Bowl on the line. I don't want to be in that spot.
If anyone's gonna do it, it's Tucker or the Chiefs kicker. What's his name? Fuddrucker, Bunker. I can't remember his name.
Oh man, this is like we're like
It's
preseason
Bunker or
form.
something. You know who
We're
I'm talking about. I
we're
can't
in
remember his name.
preseason form, man. We're not supposed to know these guys anymore, man. We tired of the answers, especially if you got a screwed
But
up name.
I'm saying Montana. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm going with Brady. I'm going to go with Brady. But now that you mentioned Montana and knowing that he gets the touchdown, but I still got to go to Brady because he did it so many times. In terms of, looking at the entire season that got him to the Super Bowl and the things he had done during that. And, he never really led the league in a whole bunch of things,
But
but
look at
when
the
it mattered, though,
defense. Look at the defense we're going at. And then his 2 worst Super Bowls, what happened?
pass
The
rush.
Giants
Yep,
defense.
pass rush. That's his problem. Shuffling feet. You pointed that out, bro. I wasn't even thinking about that. He would not, against those dudes that we have in that defense, he would have that. If he had Michael Strahan and freaking or Justin Tuck coming after him and with Asaminura, all those guys just coming after him on that defensive line, and he couldn't do anything about it. So I gotta change it then. I gotta change. Just thinking about that part of it with those guys in that defense putting that it's guaranteed pressure. And let alone when they decide to let LT run or he decides to go his own damn self, there's going to be a rush regardless. You double teaming freaking Reggie White, that's a problem because now you're going to have to double team JJ Watt. Oh, yeah, in the middle. Who we have in the middle?
Aaron Donald.
Come on, man. You got to double team this guy. You don't got 6 guys on the line. 6 guys
I know Webster's on the juice. Maybe he can hold him off by himself.
Yeah, right. I don't think he's going to just toss him like one of those wrestlers, man. Forget about it, man. Yeah. Joe Montana, because he's done it. And even though I can look at that game against Jim Burt when he got himself knocked out of the game, but that was just a Giants team on a destiny run, and they won 49-3. So, yeah, I could go with, I'm changing my damn dude, man. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Montana because there isn't anybody else. There isn't anyone else. We can't say Dan Marino because he hadn't been in, hadn't done that. It sucks. I think he could have. Well, he actually been there. Didn't do it, though.
Oh, man, but yeah, Bryce Moss and Harrison,
Tony
Gonzalez,
and Moss brothers. Imagine what Dan Marino would do with those dudes, man.
We're going to go that route. Dan Fouts would excel.
Dan Fouts, shoot, man. Yeah.
Warren Moon would put
crazy we already saw he doesn't want to shoot. How about Scott Mitchell? Yeah, right. With those damn Detroit Lions throwing to those damn dudes. But yeah, man, yeah.
Jim Kelly even.
Jim Kelly with the red gun. And he had his version. Who, Aikman?
Aikman.
I hear how Aikman is overrated. I don't have him highly rated anyways, but he's a Hall of Famer, though. He did leave those teams. So, yeah, I'll take Troy Aikman.
He's probably on the 5th floor.
Yeah, 5th floor, sub-basement, probably playing Nintendo down in the basement. He's in the Hall of Fame basement just playing games down there. Yeah, not invited to the parties upstairs. But, yeah, definitely got to go with Joe Montana. Then, based on that specific point of Tom Brady blowing it when those dudes was all in his face, he cannot deal with the pressure. And going by that defense we picked last week, there's nothing but pressure. There's no other way around it. And it's going to be from the first damn quarter to the last damn quarter. They don't even got to rotate. They're just going to play the entire freaking game, 11 on 11. That's it. Well,
so there you have
the problem I think now, the team that we picked offensively would still lose to that defense. I think, God, I don't know, man. If we were able to drop one play and see how it worked out, Joe Montana drops back. He looks to his left. He sees Randy Moss with Deion Sanders. He looks to his right. He sees Jerry Rice with, my guy at least in that case with Rod Woodson. And then you have Marvin Harrison, but now we got the nickel back in there. So we got Champ Billy and Marvin Harrison. We got Sweetness back there just in case something gets out of ride. Somebody gets through the middle, he can pick up that blitz, or he can slide into the flat and just get the drop.
Who's covering Gonzalez?
Our tight end
or Taylor?
Who's going to talk? Oh, man.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. You know what? Believe it or not, I think Brooks because of those damn interceptions he had that one season. That dude, he just has a nose for the ball. LT does too. And LT has those picks he's taken to the house. But you know what? Just leave LT out there to be a Tasmanian devil. Derek Brooks a little bit more disciplined, still just as athletic. He can just stay in the flat or hang around and try to get some picks, read some defenses, knock some heads off because he was a banger too. So yeah, so Derek Brooks would be that dude out there. But just to see that, but Tony Gonzalez has the height advantage over Derek Brooks. He doesn't have. He still has it over LT, but LT has the strength and the size and the speed.
Could Could our lineman block Donald,
That's the
J.J.
problem.
Watt, Randy
That's
White, and Reggie White?
You don't single block Reggie White. I don't. You know what? I'm thinking with my guy, at least I had Alan Faneca. I think guard wise, he could be a stopgap, like a speed bump. He could be a stopgap. But I just can't see too many of them going one-on-one. These offensive linemen going one-on-one with Reggie White or even freaking J.J. Watt, prime J.J. Watt. And then Aaron Donald in the middle. Somebody's got to get double teamed. And then that means someone's going to be free to go one-on-one. And things are going to move too fast. And Joe Montana's going to get Jim Birded. Something's going to happen.
Well, you're the guy that picked Baselli on Reggie White's side.
Well, man.
You got Larry Allen next to him.
But
you got Larry Allen next to him, though.
That Baselli who did what he did to Bruce Smith, bro, I'm thinking about a damn good matchup against Reggie White. They'll get their fair share between the both of them.
And then you got Allen on Randy White.
Hey, Allen's over there blocking too at the guard spot, the strongest guy in NFL history. And he was damn good. It wasn't just being strong. He was just that damn good athletically, running damn players down.
So we're running off tackle to the right then.
Yeah, run off tackle to the right.
We got Munoz on the left.
Or screen. Get a screen.
Yeah, I'm just saying we got Munoz and Jacoby on the left.
Bro, that's legit.
I think I'd rather run at JJ than Reggie, though.
When JJ was in his prime, when he was absolutely freaking utterly dominant. Because look,
run though,
he was just everywhere. He was everywhere, and he was playing that 3-4.
I'm saying, I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking because you're looking at that aggressive ass line that we're talking about, screen their asses all day. Just keep screaming, draw plays and screens. But you still get good reaction from the linebackers. You got good reaction from the linebackers because you got 4 linebackers now instead of 3. But anyway, that's the way it goes. That's their team. So that's the offensive. Damn, actually, in the beginning, I thought it was gonna be a white.
We probably should have picked.
But now when you kind of
we probably should have picked a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator too.
North Turner offensive and defensive. Buddy Ryan.
Oh, they're gonna go with 46 at us,
bro. Bro, that's as aggressive as it gets, man.
I don't know, man.
Because then
you're putting all your DBs on an island, and I know they're Hall of Fame.
Randy Moss, even with
I know it's Hall of Famers,
even with Dion, man.
I don't know. I tell you what, Deion's on record. We didn't pick him, but Deion's on record. He didn't want to smoke with Sterling.
Was Sterling Sharpe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know that.
He told Tim McIver to go get him. He's like, this dude's too physical. I ain't trying to be physical. I just want to cover.
See, you can't talk about that in football, man. You don't want to be physical. It's freaking football. Talk that way in baseball.
That's a more recent comment he made. He didn't make it while he was playing.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, taking these old guys, when they get older, they get a little bit more relaxed, not as competitive, and they start giving more credit when they didn't give credit in the past. He'll probably tell you how great Andre Rison is now at this point in his life after he had that little spat they got into.
Andre Rison was good, though.
Andre Rison was damn good, but he's not even sniffing that list that we just threw down.
No.
And he was good for the moment when he was out there, but, man, and he was Bad Moon Rising, had all that going on, man. And I remember Left Eye Lopes. I started hating her when she burned his house down. But then I watched her documentary and I started liking it again. What the hell? Anyway. Yeah, I was like, yo, bro, I couldn't stand it for years over that crap. But then I saw a documentary when she passed away. I was like, damn, man, this is one of the few people I changed my mind on. And now I changed my mind on freaking Joe Montana.
But to get back to the DC, I think I gotta go with Belichick.
Joe, damn, right under my freaking nose, right?
Ryan. I mean,
right under my freaking nose.
I'm not trying to run no 46
with that kind of dude. Right under my damn nose. I remember Bill Parcells said that all those, if you heard the story about how Lawrence Taylor was upset that he made Bill Belichick the defensive coordinator, he went into Bill Parcells' office yelling at him like, yo, what the hell you think you're doing? Why are you going to make this guy the defensive coordinator? He was like, hey, all those plays that we had from all this time, You know, when he was the defensive coordinator before Perkins left out of here, he's like, yo, he wrote those up. He drew them all up. He drew them up when he wasn't the defensive coordinator. He's like, really? He said, explain that to him. He's like, okay, you got my blessing. He gave Bill Parcells his freaking blessing. Now, Bill Parcells, the man of all men, he give this guy your blessing. But damn, Bill Belichick is a defensive savant. And look,
I'll give him that. Even though he's a cheater, I'll give him that.
You know, and that's true. Because even when Tom Brady got his first Super Bowl, look at that freaking defense. Look at those defensive stats. Look at the people on those defenses. I mean, you're never going to really mention Willie McGinnis often, but he was a hell of a player. And Teddy Bruschi and Ted Johnson, those great players, man. He had great players in that defense. Lloyd Malloy, I mean, Ty Law. Damn, those were damn good players that Bill Belichick had in that defense. And they showed out in that first Super Bowl against the Rams, especially that explosive Rams team. I was like the only dude that picked them. And I was like, if they do win, Ricky Proehl's going to win the MVP. He made a big play, but they lost. He didn't get MVP. But anyway, that's the way it is. He's biased. I'm Trav, and the Sports Bag Bros podcast is coming to an end on Thursday. I'm sure something's going to come up between now and then because that's what's been happening. Now we're going into a full week of preseason football. So it may not even be the games. It's just the storylines that are going to happen in the middle or in between. You know, whether someone's getting injured, someone's getting a new contract. Now we talk about Cook up there in Buffalo deciding he wants to sit down because of business reasons. Darren Camp, business reasons. They ask him at the press conference, business reasons. They ask him at camp, business reasons. He's not saying anything else. But now the brother of Dalvin Cook wants a big money contract. He thinks he deserves $15 million. We'll find out if he gets that between now and Thursday. But until then, deuces.